What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning back in. Oh no, I have to go pick that up. Hold on. Okay, got that picked up. We're out taking Mason for a walk. It's mid-December and it's like 60 degrees today, which is unlike southern Idaho weather in December, but we're soaking it in. Felt good today. We'll be back in the shop in this video doing some maintenance things to the Nova. But also some parts have started to roll in for our big block powerglide switchover that we're doing this winter. And I'm super excited to show you guys those. So make sure you stick around so you can see what's came in so far. But the first thing that we need to tackle is these leaky axle seals on these Ford 9-inch rear ends. I got to take the axles out and I'll show you guys what I do to help the axle seals seal up a little bit and not leak as much. My way is definitely not perfect and is not a permanent fix, but it definitely helps. And anybody who has these old Ford end 9-inch rear ends with the old Ford ends know that they leak a little bit and it's kind of hard to stop them, but I have a way that has slowed it down and it works good for me. Like I said, it will work for most of the season. It seems like every year towards the end of the season they start to leak a little bit, but I think I can do it a little bit better this time around, so I thought I'd show you what I do. So we'll get to jumping on these axles once I get back home and we'll start there. Helping out tonight? All right, so I got the axles out of both sides and I'll show you what I've been doing specifically with these. I believe these are the old Ford end housings. Some of the newer ones that I've seen have a double step inside where you can actually ram a seal in there, and those don't seem to leak as much. But for all of you that have this end where just the seal on the axle goes in there, what I've been doing, and I didn't build this one up high enough, that's why it started to leak, is I've been taking some RTV, some Right Stuff, and I'll actually build a dam in the axle tube to hold the fluid, you know, before the bearing. And this is a sealed bearing that goes in here, so the bearing's got an O-ring on the outside of it, so it does not need fluid for the bearing side of it. So I just been building a dam to stop that fluid from coming all the way out to the end. And you can see this one I just didn't build up high enough. So I think what my plan is, and last time I was in a hurry when I did this, so I just put that one coat of RTV in there. I'm gonna put one coat like this, let it dry, and then I'm gonna go a little bit thicker and a little bit taller as well, just to help seal that up. And another little hack for you, those little plugs for carburetors work perfect to plug off brake lines if you're working on them. Anyway, I'll show you the other side here. This is actually the side that was leaking a little bit more. This is actually the side that's always leaked a little bit more. Got a little bit more built up there, but still leaking. So like I said, it's not a permanent fix. It's not the most perfect fix, but I have found that it slows down the leak on these types of axles with these types of bearings. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this cleaned out, dried up, and put some RTV in there, and we'll try it again. All right, I'm waiting for this side to dry so I can put the second coat on it. This side's got both coats, kind of show you the final product. Yeah, just kind of build the dam in there, and I have found that works pretty good. We'll see. It's a lot taller and more formed than the I guess last year's that I did. So hopefully this works. Axle project is all finished up. Axles are sealed up and everything is bolted back on. I just have to have Jade come out at some point this weekend and help me bleed the brakes. Another little project that I got done was cleaning up some of the brake lines over here by the master cylinder. Before I had the line lock, or when I bought the car, the line lock was actually mounted just on the frame right here in that little hole, and had brake lines kind of running everywhere, and I wanted to clean that up a little bit. So I was able to move the portioning valve back a little bit, clean up these lines, and then I moved the line lock down to the frame, which cleaned up this line a little bit and hit it. This used to actually come out over on top of the roll bar, and it just didn't look very good. And then coming out of the line lock, I ran that line kind of parallel and underneath the roll bar just to kind of clean it up a little bit. And my first time ever messing with brake lines, so definitely could be better, but not bad for the first time. I think that'll keep me happy for a little while. All right, now that I got a couple of the projects out of the way that I wanted to get done, we can get to the cool stuff. I have some parts rolling in for our big block powerglide swap that we're doing, and man, some of this stuff is nice. I've never had stuff this nice. Might as well start with the big box first. Nothing's in it, because it's right here. Our fresh FTI Powerglide. I obviously haven't put it in the car or anything like that, man, but I could not be happier with this thing. It looks so clean. I've never had an Ultra Bell before, so that'll be nice to not have to have a flex plate cover or anything like that. It's a 180 first gear, good input shaft, straight cut planetaries, nice output shaft. Yeah, they said it should be rated for 1,000+ horsepower, which is plenty because we should only be around 700 to 800 horsepower. I opted for their Pro Brake option, which they said is the is the quickest release of their trans brake options. What else? I had them drill and tap the pan, so I already have our Fuel Tech transmission temperature gauge threaded into the pan. The pan is obviously aluminum with some cooling fins and a drain plug, which I've never had before, so that'll make changing fluid easier. And man, I am stoked about this thing. It even has already has the Dash 6 fittings in there to start running some lines. So yeah, obviously don't have a converter yet. We're gonna wait until the engine is done on the dyno over at Kid Performance, and then we'll send the dyno sheet off to FTI and they'll build a converter for my specific setup, so that'll be nice. But yeah, pieces of the puzzle coming together, man. This thing is nice. All right, box number 2. Everybody knows that logo. Well, funny story, my wife, Jade, does not know what that logo is, and when that box showed up, she was very confused and did not know what that was, so that was kind of funny. But we got our hooker headers in, ceramic coated. Man, these things look really nice. I ended up choosing these headers. Talking with, again, Mark has been super helpful, and he said that my heads, the AFR heads that we're using on my engine, are a square port. So off of the research, what I could find, things that fit the Nova, what was in stock, I wanted to take advantage of some Black Friday deals as well, because we are on a budget. This is what we ended up picking up. It's a hooker's part number is a 2457. It looks like they're a 2-inch diameter long tube, and yeah, I know that there's obviously plenty of options out there, and there's probably some nicer headers, but with what I'm working with, man, these things are gonna work amazing. So I'm super stoked about those guys. But I do have to give a shout out to my buddy Will. He brought these bad boys by and was gonna give me a screaming deal if they happen to work. These are off of his Chevelle, but they're built for more of a chassis car, and they just go too far straight out and they don't clear basically anything in my car. But appreciate it. Those things would have been awesome to use. But I'm stoked to see what these look like once they get in. And in the most recent box came back our ATM carburetor. Sent it off to the guys over at ATM, and they put a 1050 body on it. So we went from an 850 blown setup to a 1050, sticking with E85. And I have to give the guys at Drag Race Solutions a little shout out, man. Look at those things. Hold on. They make 12-point billet carburetor stud nuts. Man, those things look good. By the way, use code PBR10 at dragracesolutions.com. Get you some. They're cheap and they look good. This thing is looking sweet with the 1050 body. And I got the calibration sheet here as well, just in case you guys were wondering what size this all is. I was pretty surprised actually with the main jet size on the 850 blown setup that we had before. We had 118s in the front and 122s in the back, I believe. And I thought the jets in a naturally aspirated, even though we're going 1050 size, would be smaller, but slightly bigger, man. 120s in the front, 126s in the back. And then before, I believe I had a power valve in the primary in the front and no power valve in the back, but now there's no power valves at all, which is totally fine because we're not street driving the thing. But man, pieces are coming together and I'm getting super excited. Hopefully we hear from Mark at Kid Performance here pretty soon. Getting anxious to hear that big block run and see what it does on his dyno down there for power and everything. But guys, I really appreciate you following along as we piece all the things together this off season to go do this swap. And just as always, I really appreciate you guys liking these videos, subscribing, everything that you guys do to keep this channel going. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. If you're traveling for the holidays, you guys travel safe, enjoy your family time, and we'll see you in the next one.